A time when ghosts are believed to come up from the netherworld and mortals must seek the intervention of other spirits to appease them. Assembling this particular ghost master is a labor of love, though. The effigy is made of bamboo sticks overlaid with fluorescent paper and fabric. On the streets, many residents joined priests and the bearers of other effigies and traditional Chinese lions. Now, Hong Kongers, as so they're called, have been taking to the streets for many reasons this summer. In this community, the marchers say they are bonding together to celebrate a shared faith in local.
That is quite spectacular.
Yeah, there's a lot going on
Pretty
there,
cool.
but a lot of work, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, the first day of class, just days away for some school districts. Why Baraboo is having a hard time filling a position critical to keeping children safe.
Plus, a man is facing multiple charges after crashing his vehicle into the Baraboo Middle School.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with News 3 Now. As the start of the school year nears, communities are having a difficult time filling a position critical to keeping our kids safe.
Madison O'Neill explains why recruiting crossing guards is a priority in Baraboo.
It's busy intersections like this here on Highway 33 that police say need crossing guards to keep students safe.
It's 4 lanes, it's very fast, it's pretty much always busy.
This year, Elizabeth Brewer and her son Dylan only walk about a block to his elementary school.
Next year it'll be 8th Street because next year's middle school.
A lot of kids travel from the north to the south to go to school over here. So it can be a very dangerous area to cross, as you can see.
With schools on both sides of 8th Street doubling as Highway 33.
More nerve-wracking for me than him.
It's important to have someone guiding the way.
That is stupidly important. It's so busy.
I think the general public doesn't give enough recognition to crossing guards.
Baraboo police provide crossing guards. Captain Rob Sinden has even worn the vest himself.
What looks easy to those passers-by is not an easy task.
Years ago,
Crossing guard was struck in West Baraboo. We've had close calls in the city as well.
Currently, Baraboo police have 5 crossing guards without any alternates to fill their shoes.
I'd like to have 100. I really would.
They've been seeing fewer and fewer applicants.
It's not just in Baraboo, it's really in Portage, it's in all the surrounding communities, because again, we're not seeing those adults who want to stand out in the rain, the inclement weather, etc. But it takes a special kind of person.
A special kind of person who wants to keep kids safe and help guide them in more ways than one.
I like crossing guards. They're nice.
I don't think we've ever run into
I
a
don't.
mean one.
They truly create that bond, and those kids know that those crossing guards are there for their safety.
For those interested in taking on the role of crossing guard, we'll have information on our website, channel3000.com. In Baraboo, Madison O'Neill, News 3 Now.
And police are asking drivers to be mindful that school is starting up again soon, so it's important to slow down and stay alert.
The Columbia County District Attorney says law enforcement officers involved in a fatal police pursuit will not face charges. This happened on I-39 back in April. Officers say Terrance Simmons was driving and his brother Terrence Simmons was a passenger. Terrance Simmons was wanted by police in connection with a reported substantial battery and kidnapping. Police say he was driving over 100 miles per hour, refusing to stop. The report said less than 2 seconds after running over a portion of spike strips and making sudden lane changes at a high rate of speed, the vehicle crashed into a semi. Terrance Simmons and Terrence Simmons were both killed. In the report, the district attorney called the death tragic, but said Terrance Simmons was fleeing from law enforcement in his stolen car while armed after having committed violent crime.
Beaver Dam Middle School is hoping to be back in business as usual by Monday morning after a drunk driver crashed into the building.
Danica Lewis is here now with more details. Danica?
Well, Eric and Mark, this reportedly started as a fight between 22-year-old Roy Cortez and a woman at a home last night. Officers say Cortez was drinking before he got behind the wheel, led police on a high-speed chase, and then crashed into a wall at Beaver Dam Middle School. The car hit an electrical transformer in the process, causing a fire. The school district estimates it'll cost well over $100,000 to fix the building and the utilities. Jim Brewer was woken up by the crash.
Oh, it was like a transformer times a couple. I'm surprised he wasn't hurt that bad.
In fact, Cortez is expected to be okay. Non-life-threatening injuries there. He was officially charged today and is being held on a $10,000 bond. District leaders say the school will be closed until the power is restored and the air is adequately filtered. They'll bring in contractors this week to assess the damage and come up with plans to fix it.
All right, Danica Lewis reporting. Danica, thank you.
Let's get a look now at your first alert to weather. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti is out on the weather patio. Perfect evening out there. Hi, Gary.
It's a beautiful evening out here, and it looks like the next few will be about the same. On visible cloud track, there were some clouds that developed in central and northern Wisconsin. Southern Wisconsin had a little more sunshine this afternoon, but other than a couple of tiny sprinkles up in east central Wisconsin, a couple made it down in the northern portions of Dodge County. That's pretty much it, and those showers will dissipate before too long. Current temperatures are a little cooler to the northeast, especially closer to Lake Michigan. Lake breeze there keeping temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, but from Madison on toward the south and west, temperatures are in the middle to upper 70s. Look at the dew point temperatures, middle 50s, very comfortable. So low temperatures tonight will be in the middle 50s. Look for sunny skies for tomorrow, high temperatures right around 76. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
All right, Gary, thank you. We're taking a closer look today at the arguments Edgewood High School is making as it files a federal lawsuit against the city of Madison.
Edgewood is claiming religious discrimination and unfair treatment compared to other schools. Rose Schmidt is live from the high school stadium to explain the controversy. Rose?
Yes, the Edgewood High School football team is on the field right now practicing. But there's a court battle right now stemming from a city zoning board decision that says Edgewood can't host games on this field. And a political science professor I spoke with today says Edgewood has a case. Edgewood's lawsuit alleges that zoning restrictions are only being placed on them and not on UW or any public high schools, which they say is unfair. Professor Howard Schwaber says that is a strong argument for them to make, and Edgewood is also claiming that it's being treated differently because it is a private Catholic high school. Schwaber says he believes the religious argument is laid on for effect, but as a whole, he says this lawsuit has a slim chance of being thrown out.
Edgewood has a very strong case, it seems to me, for the claim that Madison has to allow them to hold athletic contests on their fields. That doesn't mean Edgewood has an equally strong case for building a new stadium. That's a whole different set of questions.
The school's master plan says it would only use the field for practices and classes. Mayor Satya Rhodes-Conway refused to answer questions today about the Edgewood lawsuit, but said yesterday she was withdrawing her support for an ordinance repealing Edgewood's master plan. Edgewood issued a statement today saying it's disappointed that the mayor chose to do that, and it still hopes that the Common Council chooses to pass that ordinance. Edgewood also says it is still reviewing all of its options to make sure its students are being treated as fairly as those who are in public school. Back to you.
Rose Schmidt reporting live from Edgewood High School. Thank you, Rose.
Police are looking for a man who is accused of robbing and assaulting another man. Madison police say this happened about 3 this morning at the 7-Eleven on Park Street. The victim told police the suspect came up to him, demanded money. That led to a physical fight where the suspect pulled out a handgun. Officers say the 47-year-old victim had broken teeth, a broken jaw, and cut his lip during that fight.
A fire that was likely started by cigarettes damaged 2 vehicles. Madison police say it happened Wednesday afternoon in the 800 block of Pinewood Court. Police say a commercial van was on fire and another vehicle parked next to it was also on fire. A passenger in the van said they had placed a cigarette in an already full ashtray about 15 to 20 minutes before the fire. Police say there were other combustible items near the cigarette, but with the extent of damage, investigators could not rule out engine failure as a possible cause.
Democratic Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers says Republican concerns over a pair of gun control bills he is pushing is, quote, BS, and he's thinking of forcing lawmakers into a special session to take up those measures. The governor and Democratic supporters have pointed to a poll from last year showing more than 80% of Wisconsin residents support universal background checks. Governor Evers unveiled such a proposal last week. He also supports a red flag law to take guns away from people that a court determines to be at risk to themselves or others. Republicans have raised Second Amendment concerns and indicated neither will be taken up by the legislature.
2 companies are hoping to increase the use of electric vehicles, or EVs, in ride-sharing and grow awareness of the benefits of EVs. Lyft and the Madison Gas and Electric Company will give a $500 bonus to drivers who sign up to drive with Lyft. EV drivers with MG&E are also eligible to receive 50% off the cost of charging at MG&E's more than 30 wind-powered public charging stations. To find out more or to apply to become an EV driver with Lyft. Head to channel3000.com.
Wisconsin's largest technology entrepreneurship festival starts today. It's dedicated to helping people beginning in business connect with those who are professionals in it. The 8-day-long Forward Fest hosts 56 events in different venues all across Madison, all of which are focused on bettering technology and startup communities. Entrepreneurs can pitch ideas to professionals and receive mentorship from Madison area businesses.
So what the festival at large does is provide a canvas, an 8-day canvas for folks, for different groups to host events. And the idea is that 1 week out of the year, everybody sort of has their silos that they sort of operate in. We break down those silos and give everybody a chance to see what everybody else is doing.
He says the fest is a way to see what fast-growing businesses are doing and what he calls the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Most of the events are free and all are open to the public.
As Verona students get ready to head back to school tomorrow, one of the district's elementary schools is ready to support its students' mental health in a new way. Known as the Mindfulness Room, the Verona Area School District hopes this new classroom turned yoga and relaxation studio will help give kids the tools they need to feel kind and courageous every day. When they're in the new room for 30 minutes at a time, students will learn how to express what they're feeling with words instead of actions to help regulate their emotions. It also helps teachers relax too, which is at least one district principal's top priority.
I would say the biggest benefit is that there's a place that teachers can access to take care of themselves first. And that is my most important role as a principal, is to take care of my teachers so that they're able to do their best work on behalf of our students and families.
7 Stoner Prairie teachers became certified over the summer as yoga instructors to help guide their students in the mindfulness room.
Trying to get your kids back into a normal sleeping schedule ahead of the school year can be difficult. Our Josh Sprider and Leah Linscheid share some tips on how to make that sleeping transition a little easier.
Many parents know the bedtime battles during the school year all too well.
Oh yeah, if you're looking to avoid that fight the night before the first day of school, doctors say you should start that process ahead of time. Dr. Mandira Mehra from SSM Health says it is best to try to get the kiddos into that school year bedtime routine before the school year starts. She says preschool-age kids need between 10 and 13 hours of sleep at night to be ready to learn. Yeah, you heard that right, 13 hours. Teenagers, meanwhile, need about 8 to 9 hours. Dr. Mehra suggests easing your kids into that routine over the next week.
Start about 10 to 14 days ahead of time, set back the clock about 15 minutes, get them to bed 15 minutes early every day, wake them up about 15 minutes early. That way that first day just goes really smoothly.
We've been getting you ready to go back to school all month on News 3 Now this morning. Be sure to join us tomorrow morning. We'll be talking about how you can get your kids back to school haircuts done for free this weekend. We'll see you from 4:30 to 7.
And there's more to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, the TSA rolling out a new campaign to make sure your ID is in compliance to fly.
And then coming up tonight at 6, soon tens of thousands of people will flock to Sauk Prairie to watch people fling cow poop. We're looking into how organizers select the flying feces. You'll want to stay tuned for that.
Yeah, mixed news on Wall Street. The Dow up 49.5 today, but the NASDAQ took a 29-point hit, and the S&P fell 1.5 points. And we'll be right back. The TSA is rolling out a new public awareness campaign for Real ID, and that's in order to avoid the rush as the deadline draws near. TSA officials are reminding U.S. air travelers the clock is ticking to get a Real ID compliant driver's license or another acceptable form of ID before an October 2020 deadline. Congress passed the Real ID Act into law back in 2005 after a recommendation from the 9/11 Commission setting national security standards for state-issued driver's licenses and IDs.
If we don't get it done as early as possible, everybody's going to be rushing at the last minute. And we don't want somebody to get in a situation where they come to the airport ready to fly on vacation and then suddenly they can't get through.
Now, these star symbols indicate a driver's license for state ID is Real ID compliant in most states. TSA says an enhanced driver's license is also acceptable. Those who do not have a Real ID by October of 2020 will no longer be able to board a flight. However, travelers can use other forms of ID like your passport or residency card.
Stunning images are coming out of Brazil as a massive wildfire rips through parts of the Amazon. Brazil's National Institute for Space Research, which monitors wildfires, said there's been a record number of them this year, nearly 75,000. That's an 84% increase compared to the same period last year. The president of Brazil is blaming government organizations for setting the fires. Climate activists point to his administration's dismantling many of the rainforest protections and insist farmers clearing land are responsible for the uptick in fires.
Federal health officials are investigating a sharp new increase in the number of severe lung illnesses possibly linked to vaping. They're now looking into 153 of those cases, most involving adolescents and young adults who used e-cigarettes. That's up from the 94 cases we reported earlier this week. CDC says no specific vaping product has been conclusively linked to all of those illnesses. In a statement to CBS News, leading e-cigarette manufacturer Juul says it is, quote, monitoring these reports, and we have robust safety monitoring systems in place. Reporting also suggests the teenagers were vaping both nicotine and THC, a Schedule I controlled substance that we do not sell.
The World Health Organization is raising a red flag on plastics in drinking water. Health experts say tiny pieces of microplastics are being found in tap water and bottled water. Experts say up to 90% of microplastics are usually eliminated through water filtration treatments. While microplastics don't appear to be a health worry for now, environmental leaders are calling for an urgent reduction in plastic pollution to reduce people's exposure to potentially harmful substances.
Gas prices almost always hit their highest levels in the summertime, but things are starting to change a bit. National gas price average has dropped 17 cents now in just the last month. According to AAA, it predicts another decrease of 20 to 25 cents in the coming months. Main reason for cheaper gas is because crude oil prices are dropping. They're expected to go down even more in the fall. Gas Buddy says the current average price for a gallon of regular in Madison is $2.54 a gallon.
Let's get a look now at your first alert weather. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has your forecast. Hi, Gary.
Hi. Beautiful afternoon today across southern Wisconsin. You can see there's a little more cloud cover up in the northern part of the state and even a few showers there. But this is a sign that a lot of that is just due to cold air aloft, because notice as we start to get a little closer to sunset, things start to cool off. Notice how these clouds are starting to dissipate a little bit. So we expect skies to become mostly clear overnight. As far as precipitation is concerned, this is the forecast from the European computer model through midnight Sunday night, early Monday morning. No rain expected over that time period. And then you can see some showers and thunderstorms in the Monday, Tuesday time period. And by Wednesday morning, maybe a quarter to a half inch of rain during that time period. But right now on Doppler track, there were a few sprinkles up in northeastern Wisconsin. Even those are gone. So things looking pretty quiet out there. As we check out the live view from the Quebe Radio Skycam in Platteville, must be a frozen image there. But the WISC Skycam shows partly sunny skies here. Just those cumulus clouds, and they haven't been building enough to produce some showers. The live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison showing partly sunny skies right now. Our almanac for today shows a high of 76 degrees, the low 53, so a little bit below the averages of 79 and 58. A lot of that is because we're drying out and those temperatures get a little cooler at night. 74 is the current temperature, winds out of the east-northeast at 12 miles per hour. Our dew point temperature has dropped into the lower 50s. Very comfortable out there. In fact, last night with the dry air, temperatures were in the 40s up in north central and northeastern Wisconsin into parts of the UP of Michigan, generally between about 50 and 55 elsewhere across the state. We'll see similar temperatures for tonight, but you can see those temperatures rise up into the mid to upper 70s over southern and western Wisconsin, a little cooler over northeastern Wisconsin, again, where a little more cloud cover was. Temperatures there mid 60s to upper 60s, but the dew point temperatures definitely are down. The 60-degree plus dew points now at the bottom of the map are even down farther south into central Illinois. The air has dried out pretty significantly behind a cold front, which is now down near the the Ohio River. It's the same front that brought a few showers and thunderstorms to northern Illinois yesterday and disrupted the Brewers game last night in St. Louis. But notice the upper level winds now coming out of the north and northwest. That's bringing down cooler Canadian air that's also a lot drier. The center of the high pressure system just north of the U.S.-Canadian border. That front becoming stationary down across southern Illinois, but that's the dividing line between a little more heat where temperatures are in the low to mid 80s south of the front and generally 70s and 60s north of the front. It also is keeping much of the humidity at bay. Notice dew points still in the upper 60s to near 70 as far north as St. Louis, but then those dew points drop across the rest of the upper Midwest. And as you can see on Future Track, that'll just keep skies generally clear to partly sunny, and we'll see comfortable nights. Daytime high temperatures mid to upper 70s, lots of sunshine. Next weather system out to the west probably won't affect us until sometime perhaps Monday into Monday night and Tuesday of next week. So our forecast for the overnight hours calls for skies to become mostly clear. It'll be comfortable, low temperature dropping to 54 degrees. Tomorrow, look for a mostly sunny and pleasant day, high temperature at 76 degrees. Future Track, you can see generally clear to partly cloudy skies tonight, low temperatures mid-50s. Tomorrow, high temperatures will top out in the middle 70s. Few cumulus clouds popping up in the afternoon. We clear out tomorrow night with low temperatures in the mid-50s, and again back in the mid to upper 70s for Saturday. In fact, the 7 to 10 day forecast calls for sunny skies into Sunday. Shower and thunderstorm chances return on Monday, and then Tuesday, chance of showers and thunderstorms, another chance by about Friday of next week. As we take a look at first alert traffic, some delays right now on the eastbound belt line between Verona Road and Monona Drive. Westbound, we're seeing some delays between Fish Hatchery and John Nolan. Right now, about a 21-minute commute on the eastbound belt line from University Avenue to the interstate, 19 minutes back in the westbound direction. If you're heading out of Madison, 26 minutes down to Janesville on I-3990, 17 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and now 22 minutes out to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
All right, Gary, thanks. Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, stopping robocalls before they reach your phone. How phone companies are trying to protect consumers. Stay with us. This just in for the Channel 3000 Alert Center. The State Department of Justice has hired a special prosecutor to continue an investigation into the Richland Center police chief. Richland Center Mayor Mike Kaufman tells News 3 Now that the city was originally told it was to get an update on the investigation into Chief Lucas Clements back on August 29th, but that has been pushed back several weeks now. The state began an investigation into Clements in June, although it won't reveal what wrongdoing it has been investigating. Clements remains on administrative leave, and we'll have more on this story tonight on News 3 Now at 6. Large telecom companies and attorneys general from every state are teaming up to combat robocalls before they reach your phone.
Dana Bacchus reports from New York.
12 major phone companies, including AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon, are teaming up with state attorneys general nationwide to protect consumers from illegal robocalls.
Not only are they driving people up the wall, they're costing too many Arkansans, too many Americans, their life savings.
The telecom companies will implement call authentication technologies known as STIR/SHAKEN at no cost to customers. They'll also provide labeling and blocking tools and also help trace the origin of the calls.
These people committing illegal robocalls are criminals, and we are extremely focused on making sure that we identify and get rid of those calls off of our network.
Officials say Americans get nearly 5 billion unwanted robocalls every month, with many of them coming from foreign scammers.
Even if the callers are located abroad, eventually there's a moment in which they are using an American company to have these calls pass through their network.
The state attorneys general plan to hold so-called gateway providers accountable for allowing foreign robocalls to go through. U.S. telecom officials say they're also focused on strengthening technology to ensure consumers do receive legitimate robocalls from banks, doctors, or schools. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, New York.
And stay with us. We'll have another final check of your forecast in just a moment.
On tonight's CBS Evening News, breaking news. Dozens are arrested in one of the largest online scams in U.S. history. Everything you need to know about Real ID. The TSA warns without it, you may not be allowed to board a plane. And we'll go swimming with sharks in a breeding ground that's teeming with them. And watch until the very end of this piece. You'll hear what they named the shark. It may sound familiar. Those stories and more on tonight's CBS Evening News.
Gary's here. One final check of the forecast. Very pleasant.
Very nice out there. Skies have been partly sunny. You can see on Doppler track, nothing really around here. A couple of sprinkles up in eastern Wisconsin have since pretty much gone away. Temperatures right now generally in the mid to upper 70s. 81 right now, Mineral Point, but to the northeast, a breeze off of Lake Michigan, keeping temperatures in the 60s there. Those dew points in the lower to middle 50s, very comfortable. Look for lots of sunshine the next couple of days. Some shower and thunderstorm chances Monday and Tuesday. And then it looks like Labor Day weekend will be dry as well.
Oh, it's in September already.
Right.
We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.